Aloha. So this is a quick update on the cockpit build I'm doing. This is general aviation, and it's kind of aimed at a Cessna 172, but I also want it to be flexible enough so that I can either swap a few pieces parts or just bring different stuff up on my LCDs and fly something different. Now this update is for the center console area. Now this is, part of it is going to be the permanent, part of it is going to get swapped out. The comm panel here is permanent. The GNS 530 is permanent. This part down here may be temporary. I don't know. I do like the multifunction panel. This is a very cheap wooden thing I threw together to hold it. And this is just the SciTech Logitech FIP panel. With this panel, I'm actually using it for my fuel select in the Cessna 172. Very low in the cockpit. Forward, you have your fuel select. This actually has a bit of software you can load that you can do that same selection with the knobs. So I figure I'll just throw it on there and it works. So I'll have that front and center. I know my multi-panel works. I've had it up and running. Excuse me. So as a general aviation setup, I think it's going to be okay. My next project, and I'm hoping to do that maybe this weekend or so, is going to be getting the screens and enclosures off to the side. One of my big goals with this was to keep everything down to a certain level, because I don't like looking up at my displays. I like looking straight out. I know if you see some people's setups, their screens are like above their dashboard, their entire screen, and I can't do that. It actually bothers me to fly like that in a sim. So I like having things set up kind of the way they are here. So this is about as high as I want to go. With the screens set up, I'll have glass cockpit quote unquote capability, but I'm normally going to keep, like, especially for general aviation, I'm going to have the 6-packs on them. And outboard of each of these touch panels, I'm going to put another FIP. And the reason is twofold. Number one, if I'm flying general aviation like a Cessna, outboard on your left, you have some engine gauges. Well, I can put them on the FIPs. But also, one of my goals with this is to adapt it to an RV-14 on the fly. I've actually got some pieces, parts I can swap out that turn it into an RV-14. So I could actually run the their artificial horizon gauge that's off to the side, or something similar to it on a FIP. So it makes sense for how I want to set it up. And I also want the ability to be able to throw joysticks in, and vice the yoke. I just want a regular stick, regular joystick, because again, RV-14 is just the stick, vice the yoke. So these come on, this particular Alpha here is held on with two nuts and bolts. Both pop off, the whole thing comes down. This guy is still held on with just the normal clamps. So I have the capability to throw on joysticks, vice, yokes. So all in all, it's coming along decently. I'm kind of happy with it. I think in the next 2 to 3 weeks, it'll be close to its final iteration, and I'll have the maiden voyage. I'll actually film it and put it on. Again, I am not a real pilot. I just do this for fun. So if you're watching and you're like, what the hell is that guy doing? I'm just having fun. By all means, though, questions, comments, concerns, throw them below. Any ideas you have, I'd love to hear them. As I'm doing this, I'm learning so much and watching some great videos. This multi-panel, again, I know I've mentioned it before, but I'm going to mention it again. Captain Bob, his website and his YouTube channel are awesome. He goes through step by step how to build this, and he teaches you why it works. And he builds a 2-channel or a 2-page multi-panel that controls your COM1, COM2, NAV1, NAV2, and your transponder. Well, I added a 3rd page. I added autopilot, so I can turn on and off the autopilot. I can change altitude. I can change my vertical speed, and I can change my heading. And I could do more. It's just a matter of learning what I really need to do, because after watching him, it makes sense on how to make that do what I want it to do. So it's pretty good. It's going to get better, hopefully. And yeah, I'm just going to throw some more time into it, and hopefully it works out. So thanks for watching. Again, questions, comments, concerns, throw them below, and happy flying.